Go ahead, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell to get notified when I put new stuff out. All those things are greatly appreciated. Let's get right into it. Looking at some Prizepicks props that I like for week 2. Tua for Miami. We're looking at his pass plus rush yards. The line on Prizepicks is 272.5. Projection of 319.5. That's a 46-point difference. Let's look at Tua a little bit closer. As you can see, Tua went off last week. He had 471 pass plus rush yards. I think he's going to have a MVP type season if he stays healthy. Just last year, 22-23, you can see he went over 200, and let's push this down to 272.5. That's what the Prizepicks line is. He went over 272.5, 9 out of 14 games. That's 64%. They are playing New England. And when we just got to go by the eye test on New England. New England didn't look that great offensively. I think that means more possessions for Tua. New England's defense is never a slouch. Let's see what he did last year against New England. In his only game last year against New England, in home in Miami, he had 270 pass plus rush yards. I think we see a difference this year. I mean, I don't know what Bill's going to do to stop him, to be honest. I think Tua is in the MVP conversation if he stays healthy. I like Tua to go over 272.5 pass plus rush yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, Detroit. His prop on Prizepicks is 34.5. See a projection in here of 36.58. Let's look at Jahmyr a little closer. Jahmyr's a rookie, so we're only going to have the 2023 stats, which is only one game. Against KC on the road, he had 42 rush yards. Again, here we have to go with the eye test. I mean, he looks explosive. Looks like every time he touches the ball, he can score a touchdown. 42 against KC. They're playing a tougher defense, of course, in Seattle. But I do not see why we should expect anything less from Jahmyr. He's in first home game. Very explosive. I think we see more. David Montgomery just started grinding away on the ground last game, and they pretty much kept it in Montgomery's hands. And of course, down the goal line, we're going to see it on Montgomery's hands. But I think we see Jahmyr Gibbs a little bit more this game, and I think he can get us over 34.5 rush yards. So I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs over 34.5 rush yards. Christian Kirk, Jacksonville. Jacksonville's number one receiver. His line is 37.5 receiving yards for a number one receiver. He looked like a number 2 last week compared to Calvin Ridley. Jacksonville is paying him $16 million this year. There's an out after this year in this contract. Jacksonville can get out of it. If they don't, they have to pay him another 16 again next year. Calvin Ridley looked like the number 1. He looked better. He looked quicker. He looked faster. He looked more explosive. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. Christian Kirk is playing for a job, period. 37.5 pass yards. His projection is 58.86. Let's look at it a little closer. As you can see, Christian Kirk went over this mark. And let's push it down to 30. My goodness, man. It's low. Let's push it down. We just push it down to 38. I mean, he should have went over that every time last year, but he didn't. 37.5. This number will go up, by the way, I think, on all the platforms. Prizepicks, Underdog, wherever you find it, I think it'll go up. He went over this 75% of the time last year. He's playing Kansas City. Let's see if we got any meetings versus Kansas City. In the Kansas City game back on 11/13 and on 1/21 of last year, both games at Kansas City, he had 105 yards and 52 yards. They are in home against Kansas City this week. Kansas City doesn't have the best defense, doesn't have the best corners, but it's on Christian Kirk to do his thing. Ridley may start seeing the double teams this week. Kirk may not, so he may get some one-on-ones. But I'm telling you, Christian Kirk is playing for his job. He's getting WR1 pay. Jacksonville expects to see WR1 results. I like Kirk to go over 37.5 receiving yards this week. Come on, Kirk. Do your damn job. Save your job. So those are a few plays that I like. You can follow my plays over on Patreon. The link is down in the description. The tool that I use is props.cash to help me quickly get to where I need to get on these props. It works for every sport. NFL, NCAA football. I haven't done much NCAA football, but I will. MLB, WNBA, and NBA. It works on them all. It's very effective, and it's my go-to tool when I'm trying to determine which way I'm going to go on these props. Go ahead and like, subscribe. All those things will be greatly appreciated. See you on the next video.